My next guest is one of the stars of the Fox hit Glee, and on August 11th, he'll be co-hosting the Teen Choice Awards on Fox. Please welcome Darren Criss.
I've made it.
You made it out here to the chair.
Yeah, I made it out of bed and I finally got here. No, this is like such a dream come true. I'm such a huge fan of you guys for years and years.
Thank you so much.
I was in that audience like just, I don't know, 2 years ago.
Oh, you came here as a fan?
Of course. I saw you guys in New York. I saw you guys when you came to LA.
You came to the New York show?
You bet your ass I did, man. I'm a huge fan. I can name like every Simpsons episode this guy has written. This guy has done everything cool in life that I wish I can do.
Oh, well, okay. No, that's...
Harvard-educated, good musician. It's just, I could go on forever.
Oh, boy. That was very nice. Thank you so much. Cool. You know, it's funny, because you've had such success, but have you always wanted to be a performer? Like, some people find out a little later in life, but a lot of people in this profession, they know when they're a kid.
Yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones. As far as just, I always had my eyes set on one thing, and it was a very cool moment when I saw Aladdin when I was, like, old, how many years old I was. And I remember seeing the genie being this really funny thing, and at a very young age seeing the audience kind of responding to this cartoon weirdo in a really positive way. And I'm thinking, none of these people in this room know each other, and yet they're getting down with the same idea. This is so cool. I want to be a genie, but evidently, I guess I couldn't be a genie. So Robin Williams is an actor, and I said, well, sure, I want to be an actor, whatever that is. So,
that's so funny, because you looked at it, and what the message you're supposed to take away is, I want to be the actor doing that voice. He's so funny. Yeah. And you're like, I must be a genie.
I must find this way, this lamp, this magical thing.
You're also, you're an incredible musician, and you've been writing songs since you were a kid. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've always written songs, and that was also kind of from Aladdin. You know, it's the music and everything. I always liked creating things for people to, I don't know, have a good time and forget their troubles for a while. So, yeah, I've written more serious things nowadays, but when I was a kid, it was more of just a joke to try and make friends laugh.
Right.
And it was...
now, what instrument are we talking about?
It would be piano or guitar, whatever's available. But they were very crass, inappropriate things that shall not be spoken of.
You were in the perfect environment right here.
Yeah. Now I want to hear one.
Let me put it this way. I forgot a lot about those things until I run into people from grade school that were like, oh, Darren, yeah, do you still play that, what was the name of that song? Oh, yeah, The Boy Without a Penis? You still play that song? No, I seem to have forgotten that song, but I'm glad I made an impression.
That doesn't sound like an upbeat song.
No. It's a very moving...
It's like, oh, the Boy Without a Penis.
It's a very moving ballad and a very sad tale.
And so you would do this, and kids, it was just to get kids to laugh.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's just, you don't want to be that guy this is a song I wrote about my ex-girlfriend. It's the typical Animal House scene. It's like, you don't want to be that guy. So
yes, no one wants to be that guy.
No one wants to be that guy. So you try and make people laugh, and that's why I eventually started a theater company out of college where I would write silly songs, because I can't write serious things. I just can't do it.
You lived in Italy for a while?
I did.
And you're a young guy to have done all this. When you were living in Italy, were you...
Had a lot of work done.
Yeah. You're 66 years old.
Very hard.
When you lived in Italy, you played music there?
Yeah, I took time from college, and I was studying theater in Italy, Commedia dell'arte, if you know what that is. And I met one of the locals and got to have a job at this restaurant, talking about like a cool bar story. Like, yes, I'll take a job playing in the middle of the Italian countryside. And the cool thing is I would play like jazz standards and stuff that you would typically do, but they don't speak English, so you could kind of say whatever you want. So if I was feeling particularly testy and they weren't tipping me, I'd be like, you are not tipping me very well, you're acting like a bitch, please give me money. And I'd be like, oh, Daddy, you sing so beautiful, I love the sound of the voice. Like, and I'd feel bad. I'm like, I'm sorry I said rude things to you in English.
Yeah, no, but it seems like, I mean, that's an amazing, that's everyone's, like, that's a dream, like, to play music in the Italian countryside and get paid for it.
It's pretty nice, but being on Conan isn't so bad either, man. I'm like, it's pretty cool.
We'll see.
We'll see, yeah.
In the new movie, Girl Most Likely, you have a sex scene with Kristen Wiig, is that right?
Yes, it is.
And I'm just curious, you know, I'm always fascinated by this kind of thing because A, I'm a perv, and B, I don't understand the acting process, but if you're going to have a sex scene with somebody, you kind of have to get to know them
you
first,
kind of have to get
right?
to know. And unfortunately, I think they were kind enough to try and schedule that on the latter half of the shooting schedule, but through some things, there were some weather issues, and through a series of events, we got pushed to like the third day. And this is very awkward for me because at this point, Kristen Wiig's a huge star. I'm some random kid walking into this movie going like, hey, I'm Darren. I'm going to put my face in and around the area of your genitals now, if you're okay with that.
It sounds like one of your songs, actually.
Hey, yeah, exactly. Material is always coming. Thank you.
That's going to be great in Italian, yeah.
See it at the Grammys.
Yeah, but she was probably cool about it. I just think that's got to be a very extreme.
Well, it's always people always ask actors like, oh, you know this when there's like kissing scenes or things. It's actually weird, and because there's 1,000 people in the room looking at it, and you're like, oh, this is instantly not sexy. So
I bet when you're doing a sex scene, there's just like hundreds of thousands of people.
Oh yeah. I think I've seen you there. I'm outside the lot.
I'm always dressed up as a cameraman.
Sitting behind a newspaper with holes in it.
Conan, no, okay.
You know, this is full circle. We did a television show together.
Yes, we did.
You did a TV show together.
My first gig out in Los Angeles ever was with this beautiful woman, and she was so nice.
Don't you touch her.
to me. Oh, I know exactly.
He's allowed to touch
I'm allowed.
me. All he wants.
So this is such a crazy collection of...
Well, and he did the same thing he just did to you. He showed up at Comic-Con and stood in line for an autograph from our show and said, will you sign my parking pass? I just auditioned for your show on Friday.
Oh, wow.
And on Monday morning, he was there at the table read, and we went, were you just
Yeah.
in
I didn't know
line
that I
at
got the
Comic-Con?
part. Yeah, this is how big of a freako nerd I am. I was at Comic-Con, and I just auditioned. I literally drove from the audition to that. I was like, oh, Eastwick's having a signing. How funny would it be if I got my parking pass
And he
signed?
stood in this really long line
Yeah.
and got his parking permit signed, and then he was there at the table read on Monday, and he'd gotten the job. It was crazy.
You know what's funny is I actually didn't get the job. I've just been lying this whole time. And I just showed up, and this is just a series
You were
of
on
lies.
a tour here at Warner Brothers and just stepped off. Yeah.
That's it.
It sounds like he's stalking you, Rebecca.
Exactly. So that thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's actually no good way for me to bring up this next topic, but you, of course, lost a castmate
Dear
on
friend, yeah.
Glee, Corey Monteith, who had been on our show many times.
Many times, and he was
just
a joy.
Wonderful
guy.
person. And a lot of people are just, on a human level, just wondering how you guys are doing now that maybe the cast is getting back together.
Obviously, it's been a very rough time, but there's when you start picking up the pieces after something as tragic as this, and it's funny that you say that you don't know how to breach it.
Yeah.
We're picking up the pieces now, and there's two things you got to remember about Corey. One is he was a really funny guy, had a great sense of humor, and he loved life, and he always took care of his friends and wanted his friends to be happy. So it's only right that we, try and start to smile again, try and laugh again. It's something that he would have wanted. And on a personal note, he will be severely missed, but I'm just so happy that a guy like him got to touch as many lives as he did while we were all lucky enough to have him. So.
Yeah, well, all of us are wishing you guys the best.
Thank you.
Obviously, it's extremely difficult. The 5th season of Glee premieres Thursday, September 26th, and the Teen Choice Awards airs August 11th on Fox. You know what? Real pleasure to meet you.
Real pleasure, man.
You're a very nice guy. Darren Criss. We'll take a break. When we come back, Tom Odell's here. Stick around.